come up with a very important topic. Even I could say it can be a lifesaver, because I'm here going to talk about how to help people who are at the verge of committing suicide, or if you found out that your near loved and dear ones or somewhere found to take this very poor decision in their life, or the worst thing that they can do to themselves, that is suicide. If you could suspect anyone in your life, can be your loved ones in terms of the friendship or even own relatives, I'm sure most of you watching this video, we would have actually lost our loved ones because we could not figure out that they are on the verge of committing suicide. So I've already given a lot of mental health videos where the symptoms of suicide have already been shared, but here again I will refresh your memory about how to figure out when a person is about to commit suicide or who is actually suicidal, because it's very difficult to figure out. Because I've heard a lot of people telling that I've talked to my son or I've talked to my spouse, they were sounding actually very good, but then the next day I could see themselves hanging or they were actually dead. So all these are really surprising for people to see that how they really took this worst decision that they could ever take. But actually when you see from the perspective of the person who had committed suicide, it's just that they had to end their pain. It's not about ending their life, and that is the permanent solution they've taken in their life for a temporary problems in their life, and which looked very logical for them at that moment. So with that said, and I don't want anyone of us to actually lose anyone to the hands of the worst hands of suicide anymore. So what we can do for the same is, first thing, we should watch out for the warning signs of suicide. So what could be the warning sign that your near loved and dear ones could even take up this decision? The thing is, you could see changes in their behavior, personality. You could see a lot of drastic changes in the way they speak, and also you can't actually access to their thinking. So one thing you can look into is that behavioral changes. A lot of changes in their personality do happen. They may become more emotional, and they may be having a lot of rage and anger. And one important sign is that they talk about suicide more often. So generally people think that who talk about suicide don't think about committing, but we can't take that symptom as light as it could sound, because that could be a major sign for warning sign for suicide. Because a lot of people think that people attract attention and they're like having attention seeking behavior, especially adolescents and all that, but we can't always take it light when it comes to this telltale sign of suicide, where they keep talking about suicide and where they give away their possessions to people, or let's say for elderly people who want to write their will, and a lot of such things can also warn us that this person can be thinking or having the suicidal ideation. And also changes, very visible changes in their sleeping, and also visible changes in their intake of food. All this is also very much visible. Then they may withdraw themselves. They may have some fight, or they may just sadly withdraw from people, the relatives, friends. They just can cut off or develop boundaries, so much of boundaries that people can't even look into their lives of what's really happening to them. And a lot other warning signs are there which could really help us save these people, and can warn the relatives also that this person may be suicidal if it is your friends. And if you could see any of the signs what I just said, and you also can look into another detailed video of how to find out the warning signs of suicide, so that it can really help save people's lives. So once you figured out this person may be suicidal, what's the next step? So you may be really panicky or anxious, or you may be helpless and really wanted to help this person, but you really don't know how to do this. And there are a lot of people do wrong initiatives, the wrong way they respond to help these people, which can backfire. So here I am to tell you the right way to handle people who are on the verge of committing suicide. First thing is, they don't want to talk to you. They won't open up that easily. Even if you're going to talk a lot to them, they are not going to just talk to you and open up their heart, because they've already decided, they've closed all the possibilities in their life, because everything is looking so hopeless for them. So at that point, what you can least do is just inform them and let them know that you're always there and you can always come to me. That kind of approachability, and that your availability, and you can give your contact number, or you can also give the contact number of any helpline if they want to seek any help at that verge of the moment. So this can actually help them. And one more thing people always do wrongly is that they start talking about their own stories. I had this problem, I had that problem, and I've done this, and lot of such kind of suggestions may not at all be helpful to these people. and they may tell that these are the major problems I faced and I could come out, and why can't you? So they could say some success stories which may really not go well with this kind of people. So any kind of motivational stories or any kind of sharing your own part is not going to help. You just have to give your listening ears to them whenever they are ready to talk to you. That's the number one thing you should understand. Keep listening, don't talk. You just have to encourage them to open up. That is all. And when they are going to come very reluctantly, and when they are going to be at the vulnerable stage of talking about their problems, and if you are going to raise your eyebrows thinking that, is it for this reason you are thinking suicidal? Then that is all. They're going to again close the shutters. So for you, the intentions may look very lame. For people who are suicidal, that is the biggest problem in their life. So please don't be judgmental. Please don't discount their problems. Don't make it more minimal for them. So it may be more minimal for you, but then please don't do that. You just have to acknowledge their sadness, their despair, their fear, whatever, because their interpretation of the life situation is this, which has made them to take this kind of choice, which is even detrimental, and they are going to self-destruct themselves. Imagine that kind of pain they might experience. Have some empathy. So this is one thing you should really have in mind while you are actually trying to communicate to the people who are suicidal. And the next thing, if you found that person is to be a teen, please inform the elders and adults of the family immediately. Because you may think that elders may not know how to react or what they would do. Don't get angry, or don't think that they are so selfish, and don't start shouting at them. You just have to be more empathetic with them and inform the elders of the family. And the next thing you should do is you should also inform make sure that they get some professional help as soon as possible. It is very important. And also you could connect them immediately. Maybe let's say it's in the midnight or something, you should make sure that somebody stays with them 24/7, because at any moment of their life they can just like that take this decision, take this call and end their lives. So you should make sure they don't have any lethal weapons, or they don't have access to anything which is going to make their suicide thing come true. So you should also make sure whether they've googled about anything, have they got any stock of any drugs, or do they have any sharp weapons with them, or have they had been doing self-harm. All they should make sure that they don't have access to these things as well. So these are some of the steps you can really do immediately, so that you can prevent a suicide from really happening. Because many people might know that this person is suicidal, but actually they've missed out on how to help, and finally they had to see the end of their lives. So the thing is, it is very, very unfortunate for near and dear ones to see them die and witness it with a lot of pain and guilt. So this thing is going to be very, very negative. So when you could try, you need not be a doctor to help a person who is suicidal. You can just follow these tips and sensibly you handle them. And I'm sure that you can also encourage them to get the professional help, so that they can definitely look beyond that and live for much more long years with happiness and lot of mental health also. So I hope this video would give you a lot of ideas about how to help people who are suicidal, and all the very best for you to save as many lives as you could. As I already said, you need not be a doctor. You can even be a god for many lives, many people, many souls you can save by this, tools. I think you should actually use it in your lives, because I'm sure in your life you would come across these kind of people, be it in a form of friends or relationships. So please make sure that you use these very useful tips to help people live longer. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please do share, so that we can help a lot of lives from not destroying themselves, but to live a much more productive and enriching life. So all the very best for that, and catch you again in a useful video. Take care. Bye.